Sean O'Malley has just won Best UFC Fighter of the Year. How? How did Sean O'Malley get this award? Like, it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, don't get me wrong, Sean O'Malley did have a great year. He did become the champion in this year, and he did make a successful defense of his title. Obviously, become the champion after beating Aljamain Sterling by KO, who, in my opinion, is the greatest UFC bantamweight of all time. He then went on and avenged his only loss of his career, which was the Chito Vera UFC 299, which was one of the biggest cards of the year the UFC had done. Sean O'Malley annihilated Chito Vera in that fight, let's be honest. It was a real coming out. Wait, pause. It was a real coming out party. Pause again. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say anyway. For Sean O'Malley going in there, the way he beat Chito Vera, styled on the guy, showed off that he is one of the best strikers in the UFC today. A very, very dominant win. But he's just not the best UFC fighter of the year. And I think everybody knows who he is. It's Alex Pereira. And there really is no argument to be had. There's no debate that can be made that would make sense for Sean O'Malley to then be awarded this over Alex Pereira. Alex Pereira in the last year has fought 4 times. He's won all 4 of those fights. 3 of them have been wins by KO. All 4 of his last opponents have been former UFC world champions. Like, it just doesn't make any sense how you can then have Sean O'Malley as the best UFC fighter. Like, what category? Like, how are you coming to this conclusion? Genuinely, I would love to know whoever the ESPYV PYS, be handy if I could speak. I don't get, like, how did you come to this conclusion? How did you then give Sean O'Malley the best UFC fighter? Because, like, even if you think about it in terms of performances, Pereira has had better performances than Sean O'Malley this year. Opponents, overall, Alex Pereira has beaten the better opposition than Sean O'Malley. So I really don't get, like, what criteria they've used for this and then given it to Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, like I said at the start of the video, did have a great year. But Alex Pereira is on a different level. And that's not even me glazing Alex Pereira. It's just the truth. Like, I don't get it. Now, I did see a photo talking about who should have won Best UFC Fighter of the Year, and they had Pereira, Zhang Weili, Sean O'Malley, and Islam Makhachev. And I was just thinking through other fights there. Like, Islam Makhachev, again, has 2 wins this year. He beat Volkanovski, and he beat Dustin Poirier. Now, Volkanovski is a pound-for-pound great of all time, in my opinion. But there is, like, a dark cloud over that win because Volkanovski did take that fight on short notice and came up a weight class. But then again, he was point for point number 1 at the time. But still, there's a cloud over that win, in my opinion. And then he beat Dustin Poirier, who is a top 5 lightweight of all time, in my opinion. I don't think you can debate that at all. Poirier has a stacked resume. I mean, you could argue Islam had a better year than Sean O'Malley, honestly. Just, like, basing it off what I said there, and in terms of, like, opponents faced and beaten, you could probably give it to Islam over Sean O'Malley. I kind of feel this is like the UFC trying to force Sean O'Malley down our throats. No sketch, pause. If you know what I mean, in the sense of, like, trying to just really promote him more, because it's clear that the UFC wants Sean O'Malley to be their guy. They want Sean O'Malley to be the face. They want him to be the most talked about star. It kind of feels like that's why they've given him this, because I really just don't get why else they would have given him it. It's clearly Alex Pereira. There's no debate to be had, in my opinion, anyway. But let me know your opinion in the comments below. Who should have won Best UFC Fighter of the Year? And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.